Hey there, it's Nathan here. In this video, what we're going over is part 2 of the 3-part series on how to find your target audience. Alright, so in the last video, what we covered was all about the audience identification. So at this point, really what you should know is, who you want to work with, what kind of qualities do they have, and really enough information about them to know if you want to travel with them or spend a lot of time with this type of individual, okay? So if you don't have this part figured out yet, make sure you go back to part 1, watch that video, and I will put a link here that you can click on or something in the description for you to get back to that first video. So if you haven't checked that out yet, go there and do so. Now, the next step in identifying our target audience, how to find them, is we need to go through a little audience discovery. And this is where we go and get below this surface level with our client or our customer or who we're trying to attract, right? You really, really need to understand your client, your customer, team member on an intimate level. And it all begins with this discovery and really just diving into their daily life. What is a day like for them? So I'm just going to go over a quick example of kind of a deep dive that we would take based off of just one little desire of our customer, okay? So that would be the desire of I want more money. So that would just be a surface level. So we need to go a little bit deeper, and this was what I call the mantle. I'm comparing it to the Earth's levels, just so you see that we're going further and further down. And with level 2, it's I want to be able to do what I want when I want. So you can tell that it's more internal now. There's a real reason why they want more money. And if we take it another level down and go to the core, it's because they want to feel like they're in control of their life. Now, maybe there's something else there, but this is just a good example so you see that we're going down to the core benefits of what they really want, which is most likely than not a feeling. They want to experience a feeling, and that happens as a result of what we're trying to help them accomplish. So whenever I'm going through this, I ask myself some questions with the discovery phase. And the first one really deals with what are the biggest pains and struggles that they have. And so you want to start looking at those, and remember that people buy on emotion and they justify those purchases based on logic. So break down each item into those levels, right? So level 1 is the common item or thing that's missing in their life that they don't have, or it's not quite it doesn't match up with what their blueprint is. And then level 2 is the agitation or frustration of not having it or not understanding how to get it. And then level 3 is the core. This is just the hottest, most emotionally charged area where their feelings come into play. So make sure you go through this, and some of the common areas that people have these pains and struggles, which we all face, is health, right? So maybe somebody's overweight and they have low to no energy, a closet full of clothes they want to wear again just to feel sexy or fit, right? And then there's wealth, lifestyle, and money, where maybe they want a different lifestyle. They want time freedom or freedom of choice, or they want a higher income. And then for others, it's, relationships and time. So maybe they want more time with their loved ones or their kids, or they want the chance to give their family vacations that you only see on the videos and Instagram stories, right? You need to know what exactly it is that makes them tick. And as you learn these new pains and struggles, add them to your list that you're creating. Because talking about these types of things resonates with your target audience, and they get to a point where they feel that you understand them better than they can describe themselves or the things that they're feeling inside. And when you hit that point, that is where a true connection is made with your audience. So remember that kind of what I went over there, these are just, the level 1 of the pains and struggles. You're going to want to dig deeper into each of these areas and find out what this means to them. So the next area that I start to look at with the audience discovery is what are their biggest fears? What are the drivers that are really just, holding them back from doing business with you? What are some things that keep them up at night, that drive them crazy? These are some good things to know, because these also can act as motivators for them whenever you're trying to help them to see the benefits of taking action with your product or your service, or whatever you're offering them. And then lastly, on the audience discovery, I start looking at what would be some of their biggest objections. What's going to stop them in their tracks and have them say no? So list everything you can think of that would be an objection, and handle or address them before they even come up, because typically objections revolve around the lack of belief that they can do or learn what you're sharing with them. So objections are usually about money or time or skills, and really just external beliefs or internal beliefs that they have. So one of my mentors, he said this several times, and it's really stuck with me, and it's very true. It's never underestimate the task at hand when it comes to getting your prospects, customers, clients, or team members to buy from you. Getting someone to trust you enough to pull out their card and join you is one of the toughest things to do. But if you cover all your bases and you do the work, it's a lot easier than just trying to throw a few things and hope it sticks to the wall. So those are the 3 areas and 3 questions that I ask myself when I'm going through the audience discovery. And now what I want to share with you is an exercise where you can get really clear on your target audience and go to a deeper level. So once again, I want to dive back to the diagram that we had before, and let's go over this section on the audience discovery. All right, cool. So you made it, and we're in the computer screen, and what you're looking at now is the next layer of our target audience, which we just covered about the audience discovery. So let's start at the top here, and the first thing that we're asking, right, is the biggest pains and struggles. What are the biggest pains and struggles that your client, your customer, who you want to attract is dealing with? So for me, it's 3 things really, and that's about not being able to do the things that make them happy in life, and then they don't have the freedom of choice that they want, and they're not able to provide like they desire to. So let's start with the first one, things that don't make them happy. So maybe they don't get to travel, go on vacations like they want to. Their boss is constantly giving them grief about trying to take off of work, or they want to take their family on a vacation to visit in-laws or other family members that don't live close to them, that they haven't seen in a while. These are things that are pains and struggles for them. Also, maybe eating out. Maybe they like to go dining out just anywhere, and they can't afford to do that right now. Or they like to go to fancy restaurants, but they only get to go maybe once a year, if that, to treat their spouse to a special anniversary dinner or something like that. Or just the fact of taking other people out to dinner and being able to not worry about the bill. Just, hey, I got it. Thanks for coming. I value you and our relationship. Just something nice for somebody else. So these are things that they're not able to do because of their current situation. These are pains and struggles. These are what keep them up at night, right? These are the things we're searching for with our target audience. Maybe the movies. Maybe movies are too expensive for them, and going to the movies and getting snacks is just not going to happen. If you have 3 kids, and it gets expensive, right? So also, what about hobbies? Maybe they can't go play golf, they can't go work out, they can't go scuba diving, they can't go to target practice if they want to go shoot. They can't buy equipment that they want to go do fun things. They can't buy the gifts that they want for their family or their friends or their spouse or their kids that they want to shower them with. Or maybe they want to help out more with charity or church. They don't have the necessary funds to do that kind of thing. And then the other part, so freedom of choice. Maybe they can't meet friends to go play golf and take off a day of work to go do that. Maybe their boss gives them a hell of a time of just not allowing them to take any time off because their boss is a control freak or trying to lock them down into a position, right? And honestly, when you work a 9 to 5, you really can't set your own agenda every day. When you show up, there's something there for you to do that's handed to you, and you're doing it for whoever your manager or boss is, right? So that's a pain, that's a struggle that people. I much rather set my own agenda than have someone tell me what to do. Also, kind of going back to the boss thing, maybe their boss is not cooperative with family activities, so they can't go to the field trips with their kids. They work like a dog. They stay up late. They get home, barely have anything to eat for dinner. Maybe have to warm it up because it's cold, and the kids are already in bed. They didn't get to kiss them goodnight. These are all things that matter. They're pains, they're struggles for my target audience. Maybe they don't have free weekends. Maybe they don't get lunch breaks like a full hour. Maybe they get like 15 minutes and they got to get right back to it, or they have to eat lunch at their desk and they can't get away. And being tired and drained all the time from all the energy that goes out into trying to make this job work for them. So the last part was not being able to provide like they want or like they desire. So maybe they don't have the car that they want, the house that they want, or they want to help their family because grandpa, grandma, mom or dad, they have medical bills or they have surgeries coming up and they want to help with it, but they just don't have the means to do so. So it's a pain, it's a struggle. They're trying to figure out, how can I make this happen? You have a sick kid. You can't just take off and take care of them like you want to. Maybe you can't leave to bring your kids to the doctor. You have to find another way to make that happen, and you miss out and possibly don't have some of your questions that you have about your child's illness answered. It's a pain. It's a struggle, right? And then maybe your parents are in debt, or you can't take care of your parents if they're elderly. You want to be there for them. Or maybe you need some legal or dental work done, but you just can't pull it off. So these are all things that are big pains and struggles from the lifestyle standpoint. Now, we could also get into the other side, which is time and money. So you don't have enough time to spend with your family or with your friends or to build meaningful relationships, or you just feel like you're losing yourself. You have no time for yourself to regroup and rethink and clear your mind, or even for your health, right? Or working out. So these are all things that are pains and struggles. The money side, not enough money left at the end of the month. The bills are piling up. You're trying to figure out who you're going to pay and how much you're going to pay to which creditor. You have stacks of credit card statements sitting on your desk, and you freaking hate staring at them every single day, right? Or no raises at work, and you're just not appreciated or valued for the worth that you actually have. That you've allowed someone else to dictate what you're worth on an hourly basis. So these are all pains, these are all struggles, and that's why I'm saying, I know I kind of went through a lot here, but you got to dig deep on what's really affecting your client, your customer, prospect, your team member, who you're trying to attract. That way you can speak to them with the language and also have some empathy to understand, hey, I get what you're going through. And I'm sure maybe there's some things that I've just talked about that you can relate to. So these are all things that you want to make sure you get down and listed. So that was just the first part. The second one we talked about was about the fears. The fears was next. What are some things that they're just keeping them up at night? Maybe they play the what if game. What if this happens? What if I get sick? What if I get in a wreck? What if the house burns down? They're constantly in worry mode. Or they're just afraid of failure. They're afraid of taking a plunge or spending any extra time on something that they're not sure if the returns are there. What if it doesn't work? What if I get let go from my job because I'm trying to extend myself and do something else? Or what if I make a bad investment? I lose my savings. I lose my money that I had saved up that I needed to get tires or to pay for the insurance this month, right? Or what if I lose friends because of these changes? Or I burn bridges for some reason? Or some choice that I made just screws everything up. So these are some of the fears that could stop them from doing business with you or keep them up at night, or just put that barrier in front of them. So you make sure you get, detailed on this level as well. And then lastly, what are their biggest objections? These are some common ones. You might think of some other ones, but like money, time, skills, and some beliefs, right? So how much does this cost? I have no money to sign up. I got to ask my spouse. I can find this for cheaper than what you're doing. How much money does this make you? How much time does this require? I have no extra time because I'm spending time at kids' games, or I'm working, or there's homework at nights, or maybe you're just a single parent and you're trying to figure all this out yourself. Or maybe you have a sick family member and you have to give them a lot of extra attention and you don't think you'd have time to do these other things. Or the I need to think about it or sleep on it. That's a good one as well. Then it goes into the skills, right? So maybe I don't know that I'll really get the mentorship that I'm after or the training that I need. I don't know how to sell. I don't understand what this is or what this is about. Or I've tried this and it didn't work. Or I don't know how to start a business. I don't know how to do marketing. I don't know how to present myself. I don't know how to do technology. And some people just don't like people, right? So these are all some of the things that could be objections for your target market. But once again, dig deep, figure out what it is that makes them tick, that gets them raising their head and saying, well, I don't know about that. Write a note, address it, and get to it. And then lastly, external beliefs. If you're doing some kind of MLM or marketing of some sort, it's usually asked, is this a pyramid scheme? Is it a scam? There's just too much competition. There's no way I could pull this off. I don't know anybody. Only people at the top make money. I hate bugging my family and my friends. Maybe you already have a good job. Those are some things that maybe they might say. Or I'm not the network marketing type. My friends have lost money with this. Or I need to try this product first. So those are just a few of the things. Like I said, go through, dig deep, and start to really look at what those drivers are in those three levels. What are their biggest fears? What are their biggest objections? And what are the biggest pains and struggles? You have to detail this out so that whenever you start to create and craft your offers and your presentations, you can tie these things into it. That way you become more relatable, and your customer, your prospect, or whoever you're trying to attract sees you as somebody that understands what they're going through and can help them to get through that process and to the results that they're after and what they're trying to get. This wraps up this video. The next one we're going to start diving to is our audience's desires. I quickly scrolled down so you saw a little quick glimpse of it, but your audience desires now is the next part of the phase, part 3, that we're going to dig deep and dive into next. So if you like this video and it was helpful to you, make sure you like this video, share it, or comment below. Love to hear your feedback and what you think about that, or even if you think of some things that I didn't think about, I'd like to know, because I'm always making a list on things that I can improve on, as well as to help people that I come into contact with. So with that being said, hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video.